I'm back. Now, Cartoon Network was my television livelihood. I may have talked about it once or twice before, but there was another set of channels that added to the enjoyment of childhood TV entertainment, and it all began with one channel. It's the big one. It may not have had as much of an impact on me as much as Cartoon Network, but I cannot overemphasize just how important the Disney Channel was to us kids of the 90s. You grew up with a lot of Disney movies on VHS, and all of a sudden you hear there's a TV channel dedicated to the exact same type of content, you'd jump at the chance for that one. I discovered Disney Channel around 2000, just before or around the time when Toon and Playhouse Disney were given their own channels. And don't forget Disney Channel Plus One. If you loved a certain cartoon so much, you could rewatch it an hour later. Now, of course, being a cartoon addict for the first decade and a half of my life, I had no interest in watching live action content. But even with that, even though Toon Disney was essentially Disney's answer to Cartoon Network, as well as the only Disney channel to air 24 hours a day, I don't feel like I gave that channel the attention it deserved. This feeling dates back to March 2006 when the channel was replaced by Disney Cinemagic, which wasn't a bad channel, but it didn't have the all cartoons all the time magic of Toon Disney. Like many people of the 90s, I was surprised when I heard the Disney channels would be closing down on British TV after 25 years. Even with Disney Plus, I don't think anyone saw that coming. When I did the last GT video for Cartoon Network, I never intended to make a sequel to that video, but when I think about how important Disney Channel was to us, I feel like I owe it that much as an overdue tribute. It's time to see what I would do if I could revive Disney Channel for one day. Like last time, we have to go over the rules. Number 1, I have to fill out a standard day of airtime for Disney Channel. In the final 3 years on air, the channel ran for 24 hours a day, but for the majority of its lifespan, it was an 18-hour day from 6 AM to midnight, so that's what we're going for. Number 2, I can only use shows that aired on a Disney television channel in the UK in the past 26 years, which includes Disney Channel, Toon Disney, which became Disney Cinemagic, Playhouse Disney, which became Disney Junior, and Disney XD. That last one I had to debate. 4 of these began as their own channels, and 2 of them evolved into other channels, while XD began as Fox Kids and Jetix non-Disney channels. The way I see it, TV shows can count if they began airing on XD and neither of its predecessors. Number 3. Like with Cartoon Network, each show featured gets one episode, whether it be 10 minutes long or 22 minutes. And of course, there has to be time for commercials. With that, let's go. First of all, unlike Cartoon Network, if we're reviving Disney Channel, we're doing it on a Saturday. It may not make much sense just now, but as the day goes on, everything will become clear. We start the day at 6 AM with one of the only shows we can start with, and a show I used to watch all the time as a kid before school, Goof Troop. 6:25, Aladdin. 6:50, DuckTales. 7:15, House of Mouse. 7:35, Lilo and Stitch. You have to start the day with a big dose of animated goodness. 8 o'clock, Art Attack. The first live action show of the day, and I'm sure many Disney viewers of the 90s would say this show is absolutely mandatory. 8:20, Tarzan. 8:45, Jungle Cubs. From 9 to 11, we're dedicating some time to the preschool kids, and for this, we're bringing back Playhouse Disney, and there's only one Playhouse show we could start with. 9 o'clock, Bear in the Big Blue House. 9:25, Higglytown Heroes. Never seen it, obviously, but it aired on Playhouse, so it counts. 9:35, Roly Poly Oly, that old freaky classic itself. 9:45, PB and J Otter. Now it's time for 20 minutes of some Playhouse staples. 10 o'clock, Circle Time. 10:05, Art Play. 10:10, Bite Size. 10:20, Book of Pooh. 10:35, something more modern, The Lion Guard. Now, as the day goes on, we have to deal with something else. Something I never cared for when it comes to Disney. Live-action sitcoms. And there were a lot of them. So for the next 4 hours, we're going to focus on them. If you're not a sitcom lover like me, run off to Cartoon Network until 3:30. 11 o'clock, Lizzie McGuire. 11:25, That's So Raven. 11:50, Even Stevens. 12:20, Hannah Montana. 12:45, The Sweet Life. We're short on time, so if this idea goes for more than 1 week, we're giving this time slot to both Zach and Cody and On Deck. 1:10, Phil of the Future. 1:35, Sunny with a Chance. 2 o'clock, Boy Meets World. 2:30, Wizards of Waverly Place. In my eyes, one of the more watchable Disney sitcoms. Finally, 3 o'clock, Jonas. From here, we're going to be doing our best to mix animation and live action. 3:30, one of the most iconic Disney shows of the 90s, Recess. 3:40, Phineas and Ferb. 3:55, Teen Angel from 1997. This is a show I remember very, very vaguely running on Disney, so whatever, it fills a time slot. 4:20, Gravity Falls, a highly popular cartoon that I never saw the appeal of. That being said, my wife loved it, and if I had the power to revive Disney Channel for one day, she would never forgive me if I left this show out. 4:50, Shake It Up. 5:15, Darkwing Duck. 5:40, Home Improvement, another popular sitcom. Aired in the old days, never watched it. 6:05, Pepper Ann, one of the shows from the Dig It days. 6:15, Dave the Barbarian. 6:30, The Owl House, a more modern show that's popular, apparently. Now, as a reminder, we're doing this on a Saturday, and this is why. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, Disney Channel featured something called the Saturday Movie Showdown. In the early morning, while you're watching a show like Art Attack, you were given a choice of 3 movies. For example, Pinocchio, Homeward Bound, and Finding Nemo. And you were told to cast your vote on the Disney Channel website, the movie with the highest vote count being broadcast that day. We're bringing that back and we're airing it at 7 p.m. What happens in the following 2 hours depends on how long the movie is. If the movie finishes by 8:30, we air an episode of Fillmore. If it finishes by 8:45, we air Timon and Pumbaa, and we pad out the remaining time with commercials. Time to wind down for the night. 9 o'clock, So Random. 9:25, The Proud Family. 9:50, Kim Possible, still my favourite Disney show of all time. 10:15, Hercules. 10:35, American Dragon, Jake Long. 11 o'clock, Smart Guy, the final live-action show of the night. 11:20, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. Finally, at 11:40, we end the night with an episode of Gargoyles. And there we have our revival plan for Disney Channel. Like I said, I didn't plan a sequel to Cartoon Network. I'm not doing a sequel to this, but after 25 years, this is a video that had to be made as a final tribute to that collection of defunct television channels. Do you agree or disagree with this plan? Leave a comment and share your love for Disney.